There are plenty of different marketing strategies that you can use for your landscaping business, but not all of them are created the same. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be ranking the best and the worst marketing strategies in 2026. What's going on, you guys? It's Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency. If you're new to the channel, all we do is talk about how you can grow your landscaping business with digital marketing strategies that work. So let's jump right into things here. And we're going to start off. I have several different tiers, which is S tier, which stands for super, which is the absolute best. Then we have A, B, C, and D tier, all the way to the worst. So let's start off with S tier, the very, very best. The way that I would define S tier is that these are your direct revenue drivers. These are where if you put money in, you are most likely to succeed with that investment. So the first in the S tier is going to be Facebook ads. What I love so much about Facebook ads for landscaping or outdoor living businesses is, first off, they are visual. So it's very easy for you to sell what it is that you are offering. Landscaping is a visual service, right? The other aspect that I love about Facebook ads is that it's also very scalable. So you can spend money and put those ads in front of people, and you can essentially generate demand for your service, right? And this is going to be very, very valuable, especially in like slower times when you're trying to drum up new business. There are different strategies where it doesn't really matter how much you spend. But with Facebook ads, you can spend money and get, your ads in front of the right homeowners pretty much on demand, right? And that is extremely valuable. What's also very awesome about Facebook ads too is that they're pretty affordable. Typically a cost per lead is about 20 to 50 bucks on Facebook ads. And so that puts you in a very good position to be able to affordably get your message in front of the right people at the right time. So at our agency for Savant, this is one of our go-to strategies for our clients because they just consistently perform. Some of the downsides, I would say, of Facebook is that it is a lot of management, which is why people hire us to do it. You have to create several different ads now, especially with the Andromeda update. So every 2 to 4 weeks or so, you are creating a new set of ads because you can't really just set it and forget it. Otherwise, your cost per lead is definitely going to go up over time. The next strategy that I have in S tier here is Google local service ads. Not to be confused with Google search ads, which we'll talk about later, but Google local service ads or Google guarantee with that check mark. This is an absolute powerhouse. The reason for this, first off, is that it's pay per lead. So you can set up the amount that you're willing to pay per lead in a bidding section, and you can bid on very specific categories for your service. The other aspect that's so awesome about Google local service ads is that all of the leads are what we call bottom of the funnel. So these are people who are already searching for exactly what you offer, and then you're just capturing them through Google. So it's essentially the exact opposite of Facebook ads. Instead of putting our ads in front of people who might not know who we are, we're putting our ad in front of people who are already searching to buy the service that we are offering. So extremely powerful, a little bit of a higher cost per lead. So more in the $80 to $100 range. But these leads are going to be very high quality. So it is definitely an S tier platform. Lastly, in S tier is going to be email and SMS reactivation campaigns. This is extremely low cost to do. All you need is just an effective software, typically a CRM. We give all of our clients a custom made high level software. And essentially with Facebook ads and Google ads, and all these different channels, you're going to be collecting a lot of different leads. And so what's so awesome about email and SMS reactivation is you've already got the leads and now you just want to follow up with them, right? And so we do quarterly reactivation campaigns through text and email, reactivating the leads we already have using our CRM. And so many landscapers don't do this. And it's such a powerful strategy, which is why we do it for all of our clients. Every quarter, we're reactivating all the leads that they weren't able to convert into paying clients. And this is how we're staying top of mind for people who may have slipped through the cracks. So that is S tier. Let's talk a little bit about A tier now. So the way that I define A tier is Still essential for your marketing budget. However, there are some caveats that are important to talk about. So the first one that I have on my list here is local SEO. Essentially, what local SEO is taking your business listing on Google where people leave you reviews and ranking that higher up in search results so that when someone's typing in landscaper or patio installation, they're going to see your business listing pop up in the maps section. And there are several different strategies that go into doing this. But what's so awesome about local SEO is that it's a long-term investment. So it's not going to be the fastest thing, which is why it's A tier. But over time, it's going to reap a lot of rewards for your business because you're going to be ranked in top results and you won't necessarily have to be paying for ads to actually show up. So it's a way to essentially protect your business against just relying only on ads. So now you have another asset that's going to be producing leads for you without paying for ads all year round, right? Very powerful strategy. It's organic, like I said, so you're not going to have to pay for ads for it. And what's awesome about it is that simultaneously, it's also building trust in your local area because one of the things you can do to start ranking higher with local SEO is getting a bunch of reviews on your business listing. So it's really killing, what's that saying? It's knocking two birds with one stone or whatever the saying is, but very powerful strategy. The only reason I have it in A tier is that it does take about 90 days to really start kicking in and start seeing some growth there. So definitely recommend it, but it's going to take a little bit of time. The next thing that I have on my list here for A tier is going to be Google search ads. So a little bit different than Google local service ads. Back in the day, Google search ads used to be fantastic. The only reason I put them in A tier now is that they are becoming more complicated and they're getting more expensive. So they have all the benefits of Google local service ads, where, when people are searching for landscaper, you can instantly be at the top results in Google for very specific keywords, which is awesome. However, I would say the reason I put it in A tier is that you need to have a good website set up. So you need to have a website that's going to actually convert those leads because you're not paying per lead with search ads, you're actually paying per click. So this can get very expensive very quickly. And if your website isn't set up properly, you can spend a lot of money on Google ads, Google search ads, and not be able to get much from it. So that's why I put it in A tier. We usually will recommend local service ads first and then start looking at search ads for a client. The next thing I have on my list here for the A tier is going to be remarketing ads or retargeting ads. This is where you can set up in Google or Facebook ads where if someone touches your website or they look at an ad or they visit your Facebook page, you can start following up with them with ads very, very cheaply. This is an extremely powerful strategy to stay top of mind and follow up with prospects who have engaged with your business online, but for whatever reason didn't request a quote. The only downside that I would say with remarketing ads, which is why it's an A tier and not an S tier, is that you kind of already need leads or you already need traffic to actually take advantage of it. And the results of it are a little bit slower. It's kind of more of like a branding aspect where over time people are seeing you everywhere, that omnipresent effect. But you do need to have traffic and you do need to have a little bit of time on your hands to let it do its thing. The next thing that I put on my list here is door-to-door sales. We have many clients who absolutely crush it with door-to-door sales, and it's absolutely an A tier strategy. You can definitely scale up door-to-door. The only thing that I would say that isn't so great about it is that it's a lot of labor, right? So you're constantly kind of like fighting with your team to get them to perform at the highest level. And it's not really like ads that work 24/7 that are constantly doing their job. Like a lot of our clients do kind of like have to constantly coach their sales team to consistently hit their KPIs, to consistently perform. So if you can dial it in and stay on top of it, extremely effective. The only reason I put it in A tier is because it is a lot of labor. And if you live in somewhere like Canada, like we do, the winters can be extremely harsh. And now you're door knocking in the winter, right? So if you have the mentality, you're motivated, door knocking, super good strategy. The next that I put in A tier is going to be door hangers and flyers. So these are very affordable usually and pretty effective. The only thing is that there's only so many door hangers and so many flyers that you can put out. And so it is a little bit difficult to scale at times. And also, I would say is that sometimes you tend to attract price shoppers with this type of strategy. Unless you can really zero in on like a specific zip code and hammer them with door hangers, flyers, et cetera, and you have a great offer on it, you are going to start seeing diminishing returns from that. And again, like I said, there's only so many times that you can hit someone's house with a hanger or flyer until they start getting annoyed. I think that this is a great quarterly strategy. And I would also put like lawn signs in there as well. So this is definitely an A tier strategy, but like difficult to scale and difficult to start like really working for you on a consistent basis. And that's why I made it A tier. Let's talk about B tier now. So the way that I define B tier is going to be more situational for your business, depending on like how mature your business is, how long you've been in business, how much cash flow you have. So these are going to be kind of situational based off of where you're at. So the first one that I have here is going to be website SEO, not to be confused with local SEO. So website SEO is ranking your website higher up in search results. And this is done through blog posting, on-page optimization, a bunch of different technical things that I won't get into in this video. But, this strategy works well if you have the right person to actually implement it for you, because you're not going to see results from website SEO for at least 90 days. And this is the type of thing where you're going to be doing a long-term investment. So there needs to be a lot of trust with the marketing agency that you've hired to do this. And like I said, it's going to take a lot of time. So it's expensive. Once you are there though, and you've ranked up, then it's going to be very powerful. It's just the type of thing where it is like pretty expensive and slow, which is why I've rated it as a B tier. We talked to a lot of landscapers who have been doing SEO, and it doesn't really seem like it's been consistently a high ROI activity for them to do. And I would say that local SEO, which is ranking your business listing, is a much faster process than doing the website SEO. So for a lot of our clients, we recommend to do the local SEO, and we see much faster results with that. So it's an easier win, faster results. I would recommend personally start with the local SEO, but if you have the cash and then you want to start investing in website SEO, it is worth the investment. It's going to take some time though. The next one that I have here is going to be trade shows. This is kind of the same thing. It's expensive. So we recently did our first trade show. We spent about $10,000 in total between traveling, getting the team out, renting the booth, building the booth, all that. So it is an upfront cost. And if you have the right strategy, it's definitely very profitable, but it's difficult to execute. It's expensive. And you kind of have to like tie up your time, right? Like you're there all day for multiple days. So very good strategy, but I'm rating it as a B tier because it is for a more mature business that can afford to spend the money. The last one that I have here in B tier is going to be truck wraps. Again, kind of similar to trade shows. It's expensive to do, typically around $5,000 or $10,000 if you want to make it look good. And you need to implement it properly with like good call to actions and clear messaging. Because if you do a wrong truck wrap, then it's not really going to generate the business that you're hoping for. And it's just going to kind of be a waste. So you need to know what you're doing, execute it properly. It's expensive, but once you execute it and you do have the money for it, it is going to help you with credibility. It is going to get a lot of visibility for your brand around where you live. And we have a lot of clients where they definitely get a lot of clients from their truck wraps. So effective, but expensive for sure. Let's talk about C tier, because I think that this one's going to be helpful for a lot of you guys. I would basically classify C tier as high visibility, but not really a lot of growth or lead flow. So number one is going to be doing organic social media. So all of you who are saying like, hey, I'm going to post on TikTok, I'm posting on Instagram, but you're not running any ads, like you're just doing the organic stuff. It's good for building trust if someone Googles your brand and they come across that. But the problem is that there's no way really for you to reach people outside of your sphere at scale, right? So you can use hashtags and this kind of thing, but it's not going to be that type of revenue driver that you're really looking for. So all of you who are posting on TikTok and such, I think it's a good idea for building trust and like credibility, but it's not going to be the revenue driver that you need. So I would personally say that this is only something you should look at once you've gotten the S, A, and B tiers in place, and then you can start really starting to take that to another level. The other one that I've included here too is sponsorships. Very similar. You're going to get a lot of visibility. So if you're sponsoring like football or hockey games or, local events or whatever, it's going to get you the visibility and people are going to like remember the name and stuff, which is great. Good for building trust, good for, goodwill, but it's not going to be that revenue driver that you're going to get a lot of jobs from and like lead flow. It's kind of more of like an authority play. So I would only recommend to do those sponsorships once you kind of have the basics in place and, you're trying to look now for like, how can we be more of like a household name? All right, let's talk about D tier because this is going to be important ones for you to avoid, in my opinion. So D tier, I would classify it as high cost and low ROI. So basically, that is going to be something like a local magazine. A lot of landscapers will sign up for a contract, which are thousands of dollars a year for a local magazine, and they're not really getting a whole lot of business from it. It's kind of more of just like a credibility player. Like on your website, you can say featured in this magazine, but don't expect to be getting a ton of leads or ROI or phone calls coming from that. So I would personally not recommend to do that until you are definitely doing seven figures or more. That's my personal opinion on the magazine stuff. Some clients have some certain magazines where it's delivered to like really nice homeowners in like a specific area and there is a good ROI for it. But again, it's not going to be a consistent thing for you. There's only so many magazines that will go out. So I personally wouldn't recommend doing that if you're not doing at least seven figures. The other one is going to be doing lead vendors, sorry. So this is going to be websites like Angie or Thumbtack or some of these like similar types of companies where you're paying per lead. There's a lot of downsides to these types of companies. First off, you're paying per lead and the leads are kind of expensive. They're typically around like 50 to 60 bucks, which you can get on other platforms anyway. And these leads aren't exclusive. So you're, getting on the phone with homeowners who have been pitched by five other landscapers. So it's kind of just a race to the bottom, in my opinion. And it's really difficult for you to actually like brand your business. Like you're not really building your business, you're building the lead vendor's business by paying them so they do advertising for their brand, not your brand. So I personally see it as kind of like life support for lead flow. It's maybe if you're just starting out, but I would personally not recommend to do this. I hear mostly from landscapers that's not a good experience. So I personally wouldn't recommend it. Same goes for radio. Like radio is the type of thing where maybe you're a seven figure plus company and you just want to, get a bit of branding out there. This is not going to make the phone ring for you unless you have an amazing ad or offer. But for the most part, it's going to be expensive, around 5K, 10K for some slots for radio on a good radio channel, at least. And they are just like going to make the ad for you. So typically the ad isn't very good in my opinion. And I think that you could spend your money in much better places than in this realm. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, give it a subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. And if you own a landscaping or outdoor living business and you're looking to implement some of these S, A, and B tier strategies to really start growing your business this year in 2026, my link is in the description below. You can book a call with our team. We'd be happy to speak with you. All right, guys, I'll see you on my next video.